People across the state continue to deal with the impacts of COVID-19. News 8 teamed up with Emerson College to ask some questions out there. Folks all around New York State were polled about everything from mental health to approval, disapproval of public officials to their expectations of all this. Kayla Green joining us now live from our remote studio to tell us what people can expect or when people expect life to go back to normal. We're going to start with that. Kayla.
Well, Adam, it's not only about when they expect things to go back to normal, but if they do. More than half of New Yorkers polled say they don't think things will ever be the same after COVID-19. But if you break down the numbers and look at Monroe County alone, more than half of people here say they think things will go back to normal. Returning to normal after a pandemic can mean something different to everyone. Spencer Kimball is the director of polling at Emerson College. He says it could be work, school, or grocery shopping, but there's one common link.
I think probably the biggest normalcy would be to actually interact with other people. We've seen about 40% of the population said in the last week that they felt socially isolated.
In New York State, 46.3% of people say life will return to normal. 53.7% say it'll never be the same. In Monroe County, those numbers are very close, but flipped. Part of that possible return to normalcy, non-essential businesses reopening. 16.2% of New Yorkers say they should reopen between April 15th and 30th. 28.2% say between May 1st and May 15th. And 33.8% say after May 16th. Rochester Chamber of Commerce President Bob Duffy says he thinks businesses will stay closed past May 16th and likely into June.
I know what people want. We wanted to open up tomorrow. It's not realistic. It's going to stay. We're going to stay in this situation until it is safe. And one thing we have to understand is that the virus does not take the summer off.
Duffy says there could be an upstate-downstate divide here, but the governor separating the two isn't as easy as people may think.
I'm a huge proponent for upstate New York, but if he were to all of a sudden relax things, say in our region, and keep them strict downstate, and then all of a sudden the tide turned where we began to see huge spikes up here, he would be highly criticized for that.
Until this is over, Duffy says there are ways people can stimulate the economy.
Support where you can support. Restaurants, takeout, delivery, support them. Maybe as opposed to going on Amazon and ordering something, you could drive a couple of miles down the road when it's over and buy it at a company here, especially one that supports families from Rochester and our region.
Duffy also talked about that return to normalcy question, and he says he's somewhere in the middle. He thinks that a lot of things will go back to normal, but some of the things that we're doing now may become the new normal. He says a lot of things we're doing with technology could be a snapshot of how things will look in the future. Live in Rochester, Kayla Green, News 8.
Tough to tell. Kayla, thank you for that insight.